So before we start our read aloud today, I have a question. How do we know if something is living or non-living? Can anybody tell me what all living things need? That's right, all living things need food and water. So people, plants, and animals are all living things because they all need food and water to stay alive. And most living things will grow and change during their lives and don't always look the same, just like you don't look the same as you were when you were a baby. You've grown and you've changed the way that you look. Living things can also reproduce or make new things that look like them, just like your parents did when they had you. Now, non-living things, things that aren't living, because non means not, non-living things do not need food and water because they are not alive. So I have a question. We're going to look at this chart together. And I've already given you a copy. And what I want you to do is take the pictures that I passed out. And I gave each group a different picture. And when I call your group, I want you to tell me, is your thing living or non-living? Now, before we do that, I want you to discuss with your partner, take about 5 or 10, maybe about 10 seconds, and discuss with your partner whether you think your item is a living thing or non-living thing, and explain why you would put it in that category. Let me go ahead and give you about 10 seconds to figure that out. So let's go ahead and start looking. Now, I gave one of the groups a pair of shoes. Can you tell me, would that be a living thing or a non-living thing? What do you think? It would be a non-living thing. That's right. And why is it a non-living thing? That's right. It doesn't need food and water, so it's not a living thing. What about our next one? I see a classroom full of desks. Would desks be a living thing or a non-living thing? What do you think? That's correct. It's a non-living thing. Desks, again, don't need food and water to be alive because they're not living things. What about our next one? I see a cat and a dog. Are cats and dogs living things or are they non-living things? That's right. They are living things because pets, cats and dogs or animals all need food or water to stay alive. Our next one is a bunch of children. It's you. Are you a living thing or a non-living thing? What do y'all think? It's a living thing as well because we all need people. We need food and water and air to be alive. Oh, and the trees. Yes, you already said it. Trees are definitely living things because they need those things to stay alive as well. Next, we have some rocks. Would rocks be living things or non-living things? Can they make new rocks? Do they need food and water? That's right, they are not living things because rocks don't make more rocks, and rocks don't need food or water to stay alive. And our last thing is crayons. Are crayons living things? No, they are not living things at all. Now that we know the difference in living and non-living things, let's get into our story today. So first, I want to show you this. This is Rattenborough, the explorer. Greetings, fellow adventurers. You are here to learn something new, and believe it or not, I'm here to teach it to you. I know you may be wondering what you could possibly learn from a rat climbing out of a dumpster, but I am Rattenborough, the famous rat adventurer. I travel the world looking at plants and animals and all the different places they call home. I'm going to take you on a special adventure all around the world. You're going to learn about some amazing and incredible places and animals, and we're going to start our exciting journey right here. I know, it doesn't look like much, but it's special to me, and it has everything I need. Welcome to my home. This is the alleyway where I live. Take a look around. What do you see? Class, can you tell me what you see in the picture? That's right, there's trash cans, there's litter, there's boxes, drains, dripping pipes, I think I see some in there, old buildings and gutters. It's a perfect home for a rat. It has everything I need to live. So all living things need food and water to survive. Survive means to stay alive. Animals like me also need shelter. A shelter is something that protects from water, weather, or danger. A house or an apartment can be a shelter. A tree can also be a shelter. So animals need food, water, and shelter to stay alive. My food comes from these trash cans and the litter on the street. My water comes from the gutters, drains, and pipes, and my family and I have a shelter down under some steps nearby. All of these things make up my habitat. A habitat is a place where an animal or plant lives that has food, water, and shelter. It's true that my home, the alleyway, is not considered a natural habitat like a forest or a pond, but with so many humans using up so much of the Earth's natural resources, some animals have been forced to survive in human-made habitats. What are 3 things animals need to survive? Who can tell me? Food, that's right. What else? Water, that's good. They need one more thing. What do they need? Shelter, that's good. If a place lacks any of these 3 things, then it's not a good habitat. Animals and plants usually live in habitats that are just right for them. Just as people can't live underwater or in the air, plants and animals can't all live in the same sorts of places. You don't hear about elephants living near the North Pole on all that ice, and you definitely don't hear about polar bears living in the desert. Pumpkins don't grow in the sea, and fish don't live in trees. I can tell you firsthand that rats can't live just anywhere in the world. I don't like the weather to be too cold, and I need to live in a place where food is easy to find. That's why I like my cozy little shelter under the steps. It is warm enough for my family and me. There's always plenty of water, and there's always a good supply of food in the trash. Let's look around. You might have a park like this somewhere near your neighborhood. Here, the word park means a public area of land that's used for recreation and exercise. It's a place to play. People like to spend time playing and relaxing in the park, but it's a habitat for many other things too. The grass, trees, flowers, and bushes in this park need food and water to live. Have you ever seen a park? What kind of plants live in the park habitat in your neighborhood? That's right. There's a park right outside of our school. There's grass all over it. And there's trees. Very good. So, let's continue. This is a picture. Or the animals that live in this park share it as a habitat. That includes the pigeons that fly around looking for crumbs to eat, the squirrels, owls, and chipmunks that live in those trees, the bees, fireflies, and mosquitoes buzzing about, the raccoons and possums that come out at night, and even the frogs and fish in the pond nearby. Now this is a picture called the Arctic. Do you think you could live easily in the Arctic with its very cold temperatures and snow-covered ground? Not many things can live there. But later, I'm going to show you some incredible plants and animals that do live in the Arctic. What do you see in this picture? Most animals have to live in habitats that are specific to them. But you, human beings, are very clever. You can build habitats for yourselves. If you want to live in the desert, where there isn't much water with which to grow food or to drink, you can build a pipeline to bring you water for watering crops for drinking. You can have food transported to the desert by road or rail because it would be difficult to grow food in the desert. And you can build houses for shelter so you don't have to sleep in the sand. You heard about ancient Egyptians and Mesopotamians living in the desert in the Middle East. How did they farm, grow crops, and survive in the desert? Do you remember from our other story? That's right. They built canals to bring water from nearby rivers or grow crops in rich soil near the river. In fact, people like you have been able to live in extremely hot, cold, and dry places. We're going on an adventure that will take us all over our amazing planet Earth. Over the next several weeks, I'm going to show you some fascinating animal and plant habitats that might be quite different than yours. You'll see some wonderful and unusual places where things can live. I can't wait to show you all these interesting places, but first, I have a lot to pack because we're going all over the world. I'm going to need a backpack full of gear, so hold on to your hats, and get ready for a marvelous adventure. Now, I have a question. Would Rattenborough be able to live in his habitat without food, water, or shelter? Why? Why not? What do you think? Talk to your partner and see what you think, and then raise your hand if you think you have something to tell us. That's right. No, he wouldn't, because he has to have food, water, and shelter to survive because he's a living creature. I have another question. Why can't all plants and animals live in every place on Earth? Talk to your partner again. What do you think? Why can't all plants and animals live in every place on Earth? That's right. Because they have to have food, water, and shelter to stay alive. And animals and plants live in a place that's just right for them.